You look up from whatever you are doing, and your cat is staring at you. Not glancing, not briefly checking in. Staring, unblinking, completely still. From across the room, from the top of the bookshelf, from the doorway. Just locked onto you with a focus that makes the air between you feel different in a way you cannot quite name. Most owners look away first. They make a joke about it. They have heard the theory about cats seeing things that humans cannot. And in that moment, some small part of them half believes it. They decide it is one of those unexplainable cat things. They move on. But what is actually happening in that stare is not unexplainable. It is not eerie. It is not random. And when you understand what behavioral science has found about why your cat locks their gaze on you like that, the way you feel in that moment will change completely. And there is one thing in particular I want you to stay for. Because if your cat stays at you often, what we cover at number 5 is something most owners spend years missing entirely. Let us talk about what is really happening. 1. Your cat is not seeing something you cannot. Let us start with the explanation most people reach for first. The ghost theory. The idea that cats are perceiving something just outside the range of human senses. A sound, a spirit, something moving in a frequency we cannot detect. It is a compelling idea. Cats do possess senses that significantly exceed ours. Their hearing range extends far beyond what a human ear registers. Their peripheral vision covers nearly 200 degrees. They detect movement at a sensitivity level that makes our own visual processing look crude. But here's what that theory gets wrong. When a cat is responding to something outside normal sensory range, their body tells you. Their ears rotate toward the source. Their whiskers fan forward. Their tail moves. Their weight shifts. The body of an animal that has detected a genuine external stimulus is a body in a state of physical readiness. It cannot hide it because it is not trying to. The stare you are describing is different. The body is still. The ears are soft. The tail, if it moves at all, moves slowly. There is no external target. There is only you. What behavioral scientists classify this as is not sensory detection. It is voluntary social monitoring. And that distinction matters more than most people realize. Your cat is not reacting to something. They are choosing to watch someone. And that someone, every single time, is you. 2. They are watching you the way a guardian watches. In the wild, sustained visual attention directed at another being falls into 2 categories. Predatory or protective. A cat watching prey is a body wound tight. Every muscle is loaded. The pupils dilate to gather maximum light. The hindquarters shift back almost imperceptibly, weight loading into the haunches. Everything about that posture is forward, compressed, preparing. Now think about the stare you see from across your living room. Is that what you are looking at? A body preparing to pounce? It is not. The posture is loose. The gaze is soft at its edges. The cat is not preparing to move toward a target. They are settled. They are simply watching. Research into feline social behavior has documented that cats living in bonded relationships with humans engage in what researchers call affiliative monitoring. The deliberate, relaxed observation of a specific individual that serves no predatory or territorial function. It is the visual equivalent of keeping someone in your peripheral awareness at all times because you have decided they are worth keeping track of. Your cat is not hunting you when they stay. They are watching over you. There is a difference, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. 3. The stare is a form of communication most owners never answer. Here is something most people do not know. When your cat stares at you and you stare back, something happens between you that has been documented in published behavioral science and confirmed across multiple studies. A slow blink from you is a response they can read. Researchers at the University of Sussex confirmed that cats respond to human slow blink sequences by slow blinking back more than they do to a neutral expression. The slow blink, that long, deliberate closing and reopening of the eye, is the clearest signal in the feline communication vocabulary for I am not a threat. I am at ease in your presence. I trust what is between us. When your cat holds your gaze and you look back at them with a long, slow close of your eyes, you are answering them in their own language. And they receive it. The tension in their gaze softens. They may look away briefly. They may slow blink back. What is happening in that exchange is not nothing. It is a conversation. A small, quiet, wordless one. But a conversation nonetheless. Most owners spend years making eye contact with their cat and never once realize they are being spoken to, and that they have the ability to speak back. And if this is changing the way you see your cat right now, go ahead and subscribe. Every video on this channel is built around what the science actually says, not what we assume. What we cover next is where it gets truly extraordinary. 4. They are tracking things about you that you do not know about yourself. Cats do not watch the way humans watch. When you observe someone across a room, you take in the broad picture, their general position, their activity, whether they are looking at you. Your processing is contextual. You are building a narrative. When your cat watches you from across the room, they are doing something far more granular than that. Research into feline visual cognition has shown that cats track micro-movements with a precision that sits well below the threshold of conscious human awareness. The slight shift in your breathing pattern when you are about to stand up. The particular way your weight redistributes across the sofa before you reach for your phone. The change in your muscle tension that happens several seconds before your mood registers as different even to you. Your cat is not watching you move. They are watching you before you move. They are reading the version of you that exists one step ahead of your own awareness. This is why your cat is sometimes on their feet and heading toward the kitchen before you have consciously decided to go there. This is why they appear in the doorway of whichever room you are about to enter. This is why they have been sitting beside you quietly for several minutes by the time you realize you needed company. They were watching, and what they saw in you, they acted on before you got there yourself. 5. The stare means something specific about where you stand with them. This is the part most owners miss, and it is worth sitting with. Cats do not stare at everyone. They are not indiscriminate watchers. In households with multiple humans, cats display this voluntary, prolonged, affiliative monitoring with one person significantly more than others. The research on this is consistent. The gaze follows the bond, which means that if your cat stares at you, often, across ordinary days and ordinary rooms, without external trigger and without obvious agenda, they have already made a decision about you that most animals never make about a human being. They have decided you are worth watching. Not because you provide food, though you do. Not because you are the largest presence in the room, though you may be. But because across the accumulated evidence of living alongside you, they have filed you under something that does not translate cleanly into human language but sits somewhere between essential and mine. A cat who watches you is a cat who has already chosen you. The stare is not the beginning of something. It is the proof of something that has already happened. Something built quietly, across weeks and months of ordinary life, in the particular way that cats build everything. Without announcement, without ceremony, without asking whether you noticed. They just kept watching. Because to them, you are always worth the attention. 6. What the stare looks like when something is wrong. Not every stare carries the same meaning. And learning the difference is one of the most useful things a cat owner can know. The affiliative stare, the one we have been talking about, has a particular quality. The body is at rest. The gaze is soft. The cat is not tracking movement. They are simply present with you from across the distance. It is unhurried. It asks nothing. But there is another kind of stare. And when you see it, it is worth paying attention to. A cat who stays with a fixed, hard, unblinking intensity and whose body is not relaxed is a cat whose nervous system is activated. Something in their environment has registered as significant. If the focus of that stare is you, and it carries a quality of alertness that feels different from the soft watch you are used to, your cat may be responding to something they are reading in you. A change in your scent, in your posture, in the particular way your body is moving today that differs from baseline. Research has shown that cats respond to physiological changes in their bonded humans. Stress, illness, and emotional distress all alter the body in measurable ways that a cat's senses register before medical symptoms become obvious. Dogs have received most of the attention in this area, but feline behavior researchers have documented the same response pattern in cats. They notice, they react, and sometimes the reaction looks like an unusually intense, sustained stare that does not quite feel like the ordinary one. If your cat's stare has changed in quality recently, it is worth asking what has changed in you. 7. How to know if the stare is meant for you. Some owners wonder whether they are reading too much into it. Whether the cat is simply staring at a point in space that happens to be near them. Whether the whole thing is more coincidence than connection. Here is a simple way to find out. Get up. Move to a different room. Do not call your cat. Do not gesture toward them. Do not make any signal that you are moving. Just stand up and go. If the stare was directed at a point in space, your cat will stay where they are. The point in space remains. If the stare was directed at you, your cat will follow. Not immediately, perhaps. Not dramatically. But within a few minutes, they will appear in the room you move to, and they will settle, and the watch will resume. This is the CQ-based behavior that attachment researchers at Oregon State University documented in domestic cats. The bonded human is not just a presence to be near. They are the anchor point around which a cat's sense of safety is organized. Wherever the anchor goes, the cat recalibrates toward it, not out of anxiety, out of something that looks, from the outside, very much like devotion. The stay follows you because you are the thing being watched, and the thing being watched is the thing that matters most. If you watched this and thought about a specific moment, your cat in the doorway, on the bookshelf, across the room, eyes on you without any obvious reason, that is not you reading into things. That is you finally understanding what has been happening all along. Your cat was not seeing a ghost. They were not staring at nothing. They were watching you, with a focus and a consistency and a patience that belongs to a creature that decided, somewhere in the quiet ordinary accumulation of your life together, that you were worth keeping in their sight. They did not tell you. They did not need to. They just kept watching. Every ordinary morning, every unremarkable evening, every Tuesday afternoon when nothing was happening and they had every other place they could have been looking. They looked at you. Every video on this channel begins the same way, with a question most cat owners have never stopped to ask. And then we go looking for the real answer. Not the simplified version, not the comfortable assumption, the actual science, the studies, the behavioral research that takes years to surface and rarely reaches people in a way that feels like a real conversation. That is what we do here every single time. If this video gave you something, hit like, drop a comment and tell us about the moment your cat's stare finally made sense to you. And subscribe, because what we are covering next will change the way you see your cat all over again. The more you understand them, the closer you get to something most people spend a lifetime living beside and never fully seeing. And that is always worth staying for.